We'll call our meeting to order. First item is invocation by Pastor Randy Kilman. Do I pronounce that right? That'll be followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Brady Cabral.
Dear Lord, we come before you today, humbly, Father God. Just bless this council. Bless this community. Lord, may this be a united community. Lord, bless this council that you've set forth. Lord, give them strategy. Give them tactical advantage, Lord, in the decision-making processes with this community. We glorify and praise your name, and we thank you, Lord. In your name we ask. Amen.
Amen.
I want to hear you all in the back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor, and thank you, Brady. Okay, next item is scheduled events and presentations. First of all, Brady, Chamber of Commerce.
Roll call.
I'm sorry, roll call. I missed one item. Roll call first.
He's in a hurry.
That was an accident.
Councilmember Grossman.
I'm here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Vice Mayor Nye.
Glad to be here.
Councilmember Mallory.
Here.
Councilmember Whiting.
Here.
Councilmember Rooney.
Here.
Thank you. And Mayor Skoog.
Yes, here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Brady, that was the first time I made a mistake again. You are up now. Chamber Commerce report.
All right, so my name is Brady. I'm from the Chamber of Commerce. As we know, Prescott Valley is rapidly growing. I just want to say thank you to City Council for the opportunity to introduce one of our newest active businesses in Prescott Valley. This is Carrie Riley from Foothills Bank.
Hi, good evening, everybody. It's really an honor to be here tonight. I'm really excited to be part of the Prescott Valley community. And I just wanted to let everybody know that we are open and excited to be able to enrich the lives of those in this community. And one of the nice things is that I've been with Foothills Bank since it opened back in 1997. And so I've seen it grow, and I've seen everything that they are able to do for the communities that they serve. And one of the things also is that we've got branches not only in Prescott and Prescott Valley, but also in Casa Grande, which a lot of you, it's kind of close, but it's a small market that we're happy to be in as well. The other thing I wanted to mention too is, and Brady has been a great supporter and introducing me to people and everything. And after living somewhere for 40 years, coming into a new community, it was a little scary, I'm not going to lie. But joining the Chamber of Commerce and attending some of these events, it's been overwhelming how nice everybody in this community is. And I feel blessed to be here. I've purchased a home and look forward to supporting the Prescott Valley community in any way that I can, in the community, nonprofit organizations, and help in any way that I can. One of the nice things about Foothills Bank is that we do offer totally free checking accounts for not only consumers, but for businesses as well, which is pretty much unheard of in the market. And I also wanted to let you know that we are active in the municipality and commercial arena with lending ability up to $50 million. So giving back to the communities, again, is very important to the bank. And so far, we have been able to make a significant difference in local nonprofits throughout the communities that we serve. And I was just lucky enough to present a check to the Yavapai Food Bank, and that was an eye-opening experience, and I hope to get more actively involved with them to help provide some food for the needy people around here. It was an experience. So I look forward to being around for a while and hope to see you guys in the bank. We're going to have a ribbon cutting next week. The mayor's going to be there, so I look forward to seeing you all again.
Thank you, and congratulations, Carrie, and thank you for what you're doing for the community. Okay, next will be a GFOA by Bill Coffey. Where's Bill? Is he here?
Mr. Mayor and Council, if I could, and asking Bill to come up along with his team if they would elect to do that. We were notified a couple of weeks ago, Mayor and Council, that for another year, the GFOA, Government Finance Officers Association, has recognized the outstanding work of your Management Services Department for putting together a distinguished budget, one that is compliant with all of the suggestions of the GFOA. And they, in their press release, spoke very highly of the job that Bill Copey and his team have done. And with that in mind, they used to go ahead and give out a plaque every year. They have changed that to go ahead and give a button for that. But I believe, Bill, that you have received this recognition since 2004?
This is our 18th year.
There you go. And so here, I'll pass this around. But, Bill?
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Just like take just a couple seconds. Councilmember Anderson, I didn't prepare a PowerPoint presentation for today. Larry said it wasn't truly necessary. I had one ready.
I brought a pillow in case I needed it.
I know, so I know. But, I thought one time I might just try to pass without using it. So
You might start with something nice, introduce your staff.
I will do that. Actually, I'll let them do it, but I'm just going to kind of give them all the recognition. So I want to take this chance to, and they all have speeches prepared, they said. So, and they love being in front of council and being on TV, where, me, I don't. So it's better that they're up here getting this award than me. But I do want to recognize this group. We have been getting this award for many, many years, but it's really because it's a team effort. It's a group. It's a great group to work with. We have gone through a lot of changes over the past year, and as a result, we actually got another recognition for our performance measures, which they thought we did a great job on. So, I would be, this document, and this is only one. We actually do two documents, budget documents. This is the one that GFOA receives and looks at and reviews. But this document would not be possible without the group that's behind me. And I also have to give a special thanks to Lee Albritton, who was here for many, many years, and she left just before the budget was completed, but she decided to go off and retire or do something silly or whatever that was. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to the group, let them introduce themselves, and you can grill them for a while instead of me. So thank you. Katie.
So I'm Katie, the finance manager.
Wow. What a background.
Well, it's
20
always
minutes,
a lot
Katie.
of work working on the budget, but with everyone helping out so much on it, it makes it a really easy process for something that's quite complicated. And it's just neat to be able to see that we receive the GFOA award every year and know that we continue to do so. It's kind of like our achievement each year. It's really neat to see. So,
I'm Lisa Simrak. I'm an accountant.
You're not talking to Mike, Lisa?
I'm Lisa Simrak. I'm an accountant. And you know what? This award is really nice to have, and it's an accountant's dream to prepare a 400-page document with tables and graphs and statistics. Yay.
I am Irina Ermakova, and I'm a senior accountant. And as well as everybody else, I'm really happy to receive this award.
Hi, I'm Latoya Muse, and I'm the administrative supervisor. And this is actually my first year working on the budget, but I came in kind of at the tail end, so just kind of getting started with this year's budget. So I'm really excited about that, but happy to be here. Thank you.
You've done a good job. Thank you so much. Bill, you're our backup.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no additional comments. I'll just address any comments or questions that the council might have.
Question.
I have a comment. I don't want you to think just because we expect this to happen every year that we take you and those ladies for granted. We understand. I probably, if you calculated the hours that it took to produce that, people would think you were exaggerating. but having managed books in doctor's offices, I would never want any one of your jobs. And I congratulate you for your outstanding achievement.
Thank you, and I'll make sure they don't relax. That's kind of one of the process, the part of my job. So I'll make sure that they keep on it.
I think it's the other way around. The ladies make sure you don't relax. Mary?
I just want to take the opportunity to thank all of you. I know the community appreciates how good you are with the budget and how conservative you are and how well you do with the funds that we have. And also the way that you've taken some of the budget and put it out there on the website and just made things a little simpler for us that are not accountants. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. Any other comments, anyone?
I do.
Rick?
Well, Mary touched on this, and I just want to follow up a little bit. But the importance from my perspective, I mean, it's important that I understand what's going on, and you make it very easy to do that. But it's also very important for the citizens of Prescott Valley. And they can see exactly what's going on. And that's very important for them because it's their money that we're spending. And they need to know exactly where it's going. And you show that every year, year after year after year. You show us exactly where all the money's going. And that's very important to them and to us. So keep up, total transparency. So keep up the good work. You're doing a great job. We appreciate each and every one of you. Please don't retire. Don't.
Jody?
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I know that these awards, they don't just give them to you. You have to earn them. And I just want to thank you for earning it.
Thank you.
Marty?
Yeah, I know when I come into the Civic Center building, I always come up the back way, so I have to go right through your department, and I go by, and I usually see most of the ladies there, and they always still have a smile on their face, and they're just working away, so it's really, really nice to see. And just to repeat what has already been said, the total transparency of our budget, plus the fact that we do invite the citizens into our budget meetings, our budget retreats, and we have gone out into the community to have, to be able to answer any questions regarding the budget. I've never seen that in any other community that I've ever been to, so it's really good to see. And again, when I was running for the council, there were always some of the candidates saying that they could find certain monies in the budget, and I said, it's out there. Just come to a budget retreat meeting or a budget meeting or just present it to us, and if you could find extra money in there to spend on that project, so we don't have to raise a tax or increase a fee, hey, go at it, and let us know, because if you could find it, God bless you. So anyway, thank you all for your work and your teamwork. I mean, it's just great. Thank you.
Mike?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you as well, Bill and his group. I think it's something that we shouldn't take lightly. I think this is a big distinction, and sometimes we kind of brush it off as well. Here's another year. But I think if you look at how municipalities are funded, and I tend to think back to my nonprofit years, but I guess it's somewhat like fund accounting, and so it is a little different. And, I think as time goes on, there are questions about how things are done, where the revenue comes from, where the expenses are going, and there's no question, where that is. And I think we manage very well within the limitations we have regarding our revenue in how we choose to grow the community in terms of roads and other departments that really make an impact, I think, to our citizens. So we have a lot to thank you for in terms of keeping us on an even keel. And the fact that you're looked upon in a special way because of the way in which we handle our financial status, I think it says a lot for Prescott Valley, and the fact that we probably stand taller than a lot of the similar communities around Arizona. So we thank you for that.
Well, thank you, but I also have to mention it is a team effort. I mean, not only with this group, but we have a group of excellent department heads, admin staff, Larry, council. So it's really, truly a group team effort. in preparing the documents every year. You know, we take the numbers and we come up with a document, but really it starts from the very beginning.
Good.
And so it's really a team effort.
Larry?
Yeah, just an observation, a couple of them. One is Marty's observation about seeing the team with smiles on their faces. That's despite working for Bill, so that's just awesome. Okay, the second thing is tonight's recognition is over the budget presentation. But there is a much bigger element to what this team does, and we don't have the luxury of having this team assembled like you do this evening. And I think that it does need to be said that the real rubber meeting the road is the results of the audit and the hard work that goes in working with the auditors so that after the budget presentation is done, it's then the execution of the budget, the spending, the accounting for the expenditures, making sure that they are appropriate and meeting all of the guidelines of the auditors. And it's an incredible job that this team does. And so for that, thank you very much.
You've done a great job. But anything in your defense, Bill?
No, I can't defend that, unfortunately. There's some truth to it, so it's very hard to...
Mayor, I have one thing to say when he's done.
Somebody else got to... Oh, Steve, I'm sorry.
I want to touch on what Larry said, because the award's for the budget, but as far as this group, I mean, by way of example, you know, all of his staff, this isn't just what they do other stuff. I'm constantly asking them, you know, questions to help me with representing the town. As recent as today, I asked Katie to update a spreadsheet that we're working on for our expert witnesses in one of our cases. And so aside from the budget award, you know, I think it's a good time to recognize their staff, all of them, for some, you know, being pulled aside and stepping up to do things that they are asked to do. So
good. June?
And Bill would hope, what Bill would really like is a fantasy football award like this, where his name is on it for every year. His name is only on it for 1 year. He'd like it to be on there every year. So that's what he'd really like.
Thank you.
I guess you're up now, Bill.
I'm done. So thank you very much.
Well, that was quick, Bill. Good job. Okay, now Councilmember Grossman will read the, comments and communications. Anyone got any comments? Laura?
I do, and Jody can join me. We tend to have a 40th anniversary celebration meeting every Thursday before this one. And boy, are we going to have some fun. You want to give them a one-sentence tintillator?
There is such of a thing, Jody, in a one sentence?
I don't know if there's one sentence on that, but you're absolutely right. We have so many events that are scheduled throughout the year that are for families, for our citizens coming in, new citizens that are coming as well. And one thing that I know our council member Nye really appreciates is when they're free. And we do a lot of free events here at the town. We have the I Love PV poster contest that we just saw the posters on that, and how we love our town. And I know you love your town as well, like I do. But there's multiple events every month, and we have on our Facebook page, the web page as well. We're looking for people who have been here for a long time that can tell us about the history. So, Mayor, I couldn't stay with one sentence. It just wasn't there. I'm sorry.
No, if you could say it backwards, Jody. Any other comments or communications? Thank you, Jody. If not, then we'll ask Councilmember Grossman to read the consent agenda.
Consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the Town Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately for discussion and possible action. A, approving the January 11th regular and executive session minutes added 2/5/18 and January 18th work study minutes. B, approving selection committee minutes of November 3rd, 2017. C, approving an employment contract with Peter Van Haren to serve a 2-year contracted period as administrative hearing officer. And D, approving accounts payable of January 16th to 29th, 2018.
Does anyone want to pull on that item, or do you want to approve this as a whole?
Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda by electronic vote.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
We do have the motion in a second. June, you want to set the vote?
Yes. Okay, thank you. And that passes, Mayor.
Thank you, June. Okay, we'll move on then to number 8, new business for review, comment, and/or possible action. 8A, consideration of authorizing the mayor to sign resolution number 2036, designated amendments to town code, updating citations as a public record. And with that, legal department, are you up on that one, Steve?
Somewhat, yes, your mayor and council. This was a resolution passed. It's a house cleaning measure. Throughout the town code, there are numerous references to state statutes, federal laws, and from time to time, those change. The reference to them changes. So what we did, this was a project that Carol did actually in conjunction with Ivan, to go through the code and to see what references had in fact changed, and to go ahead and change them. I think they were surprised that there wasn't as many changes as they thought, but what was there was necessary to change, because a lot of times the term we use is things are incorporated by reference, or they're just referenced in general, and you want to make sure that those are the correct references. As time goes by, those change. So that's been done, and if you have any questions, I'll be...
Any questions on this resolution number 2036? No? Anybody care to make a motion? Or?
Mr. Baer, I'd be happy to make a comment or motion. I think it's interesting that we do have a lot of things that the state legislature approves each year that we then have to amend some of our processes and documents. And so with that in mind, hopefully this will be something beneficial to us, but I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor in his absence, the vice mayor, to sign resolution number 2036 designating amendments to town code updating citations as public record.
I'll second.
Got the motion in a second. Would you set the vote, June?
And that passes, Mayor.
It passed. Thank you. Okay, now we go to 8B, and that's consideration of a reading ordinance number 839, adopting by reference that public record entitled Amendments to Town Code, updating citations by title only for 2 separate occasions, then placed on final passage. Anything else you want to add to it, Steve? It looked like a complicated one to me.
No, just more of the same. It's 2036, correct? Oh, okay. So, again, this was initiated by Carol and done through Ivan to update the code to reflect any statutory references and amendments. So,
okay. Any other questions or comments or motions? Emotions, commotion to be on that. Part
I'll make
B.
a motion.
Okay, we're ready.
Motion to read ordinance number 839, adopting by reference that public record entitled Amendments to Town Code Updating Citations by title only on 2 separate occasions, then place the same on final passage by electronic vote.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, June?
And that passes, Mayor.
Thank you. With that, I'd ask you, June, to read ordinance number 839 by title only for the first reading.
Okay. Ordinance number 839, an ordinance of the mayor and common council of the town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, adopting by reference a document entitled Town Code Amendments, updating citations, declared by resolution number 2036 to be a public record, which amends certain sections of the town code to update citations to other town code sections, the Arizona Revised Statutes and other statutes, and to correct a scrivener's error, providing that all other articles, sections, and subsections of the town code not herein amended shall remain in full force and effect, providing that if any provision in this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining provisions shall not be affected, but shall continue to in full force and effect, and providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, June. Okay, we move on then to number 8C, consideration of approving the site lease with Alinx, including the site sublease between Alinx and Verizon Wireless, LLC, for a telecommunications facility in a public works yard. Ryan, are you up? Ready for it?
Here, Mayor and Council, as you are well aware, the town years ago, when the cell phone industry was in its infancy, took the far-sighted position and by ordinance went ahead and said any telecommunications cell sites had to be on public property in the town of Prescott Valley. That was in light of the fact that down in the valley we were seeing neighborhood feuds erupting all over the place over the proliferation of cell towers in somebody's backyard. And so to avoid that, we ended up doing a study in town that mandated that any cell tower serving this community needed to be on public property, either school district property or town of Prescott Valley property, or in some cases state property like the ADOT yard. To that end, Verizon has been looking at a site serving the northern side of our community based on their need for service area, and they had been looking at the public works yard, and they have finally come around after doing a number of studies and all, and they are proposing this site that is referenced here within the public works yard go ahead and be allowed. So to that end, you'll notice in the RFCA, very consistent with our other agreements, they will end up paying us $1,495 per month for that location, and when you total up all of our cell sites at park locations and other public property locations, that turns out to be a fairly decent revenue stream, and it is being charged at the going rate anywhere else in the state. And so it serves us very well. In addition to that, this particular agreement goes ahead and has Verizon writing a check for $9,500 to go ahead and assist the Public Works Department in lighting that area much better. And that's all part of the agreement.
Glad you explained that, Larry. There's people that wonder why they can't have it on private property. Any other questions or comments? Motions?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Motion to approve the site lease of Alex, including site sublease between Alex and Verizon Wireless LLC for a telecommunication facility in the public work yard on Laredo Drive by electronic vote.
Second, anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Will you set the vote, Judy or June?
And that passes, Mayor.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we move on to number D, consideration of approving the proposed follow-up amendment number 3 to agreement with CH2M Hill OMI for operations, maintenance, management services for fiscal year 17 and 18. Bill, Neil, anything new to add to that?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Now, we talked about this extensively last week, and I gave you a brief presentation, I believe, which I'm going to forego tonight, unless you really want to see it again. And essentially, what we're looking for is a mid-year contract adjustment to OMI's contract. We discussed how back in July we did not provide an increase to them at all, and that was related to the issue with a reporting incident for arsenic. And so we gave them no increase for the first 6 months of the year, and that essentially amounts to about a $36,000 penalty. And when we signed that contract with them, we told them that we would look at a mid-year adjustment of 2%. And so that's what I brought back before you, and that's what we're talking about tonight. So I think in a nutshell that explains everything, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those.
Mary?
Yeah, I have a couple questions that were actually, I got some phone calls, and these citizens wanted to know in regards to the CHM2 Hill, the trucks that they're driving. Are those our trucks, or do they belong to CHM2 Hill?
Most of those trucks, with maybe a couple of exceptions, belong to the town. So there are trucks. All the equipment that they use is also our equipment. And that's because if we ever decided not to continue a contract with them,
Right.
We have the equipment that we need to operate our system, which is different from what another town might need to operate their system. So we wouldn't want them to leave and take it with them. So
Right.
we buy all of the equipment, the trucks, everything,
Okay.
and they use it. The vehicles,
Okay.
when most of the time we're actually buying used vehicles
Right.
from the state. When they're done with vehicles, they have auctions and they offer them up to the municipalities. And so most of our vehicles actually come from them and are already used when we get them. There are some cases where we purchase new vehicles, the very important service trucks that need to be running 100% of the time. Typically, we buy those new so that we know that they're going to be running when we need them to.
And insurance, do we insure, or?
The insurance is there. They cover it with their insurance since
Okay.
they're the ones operating them.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Rick? No. Anyone else got any comments? Mike?
Yeah, I just, after we heard your presentation last week, I think it's a good and fair way to, I think, deal with the issues that we are dealing with, and at the same time recognize, a vital partner in terms of what we do. I think without them and without your leadership in the department, we would be hard pressed to give the service that we do. And I haven't ever heard, I think, a bad word about the services we provide out there in terms of water. So appreciate that, and I think it's very fair in terms of this increase midterm.
Any other questions, comments? CH2M Hill want to make any comments?
I appreciate the feedback that you've given us, and we think it's fair as well. We've learned our lesson, and we've increased our performance matrix and compliance matrix to keep compliance ongoing. And, our motto is perfect compliance or perfect reporting of non-compliance, and we did that with some consequences, but appreciate the feedback. Thank you.
Can't be perfect, can you? But you've done a good job. And I think it's saved us money over the years.
Appreciate it, yeah. We try.
Good. Any other comments, questions, motions, demotions, commotions?
Mr. Mayor, I'll be happy to make a motion to approve the proposed follow-up amendment number 3 to agreement with CH2M Hill OMI for operations, maintenance, and management services for fiscal year 17-18.
And Mayor, I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you set the vote, June?
And that passes, Mayor.
Thank you, June. Thank you again. Good job. Okay, we move on to number E. Consideration of approving the budget transfer from the police operating budget in the amount of $11,430 to police administration capital budget line for upgrade of radio equipment and tower. You are up. Good to see you.
Mayor, Council, thank you for allowing me this opportunity. I'm John Woods, a lieutenant with the police department. This time I did remember my readers. I am before you For the consideration of transferring from the patrol operation budget to the from the police administration capital budget line, the amount of $11,430. I have a detailed explanation that I'd like to read for you guys on what we're going to be doing. This process will allow the installation of a link to control the repeater to fix a long-standing issue with the Prescott Regional Communications Center provided equipment, to reduce or eliminate noise in the transmission from dispatch and allow officers in the field to receive dispatch with reduced noise, improved clarity, and system coverage. This will involve it will replace a lower powered VHF radio link with a high powered UHF duplex radio link and controls directly in PRCC, allowing Niles radio to redirect antenna coverage that is currently positioned towards Prescott to amplify their signal to redistribute it to our area for our signal. So in layman's terms, we have a weak signal coming from Prescott Regional Communications Center up to Glassford Hill. We are splitting this cost 50% with the town of Prescott and PRCC. That will boost the signal and allow us to turn one of our 3 main antennas back to cover the town of Prescott Valley.
Been working, hasn't it?
We do have radio issues, Mayor.
Everybody understand the regional concept?
I do.
Any question? Laura, you got a question?
I'm just relieved because it bothered me knowing the problems that you've been having. And while I couldn't understand how they translated directly to all of you, it's just a relief to me to know that this ability to transfer funds and improve that reception, who knows, it could save a life.
And for our officers, our radios are our main lifelink. to
Absolutely.
everything we do. It is a big officer safety issue, and I've been dealing with it for a year and a half, and it is extremely complex. And the council may remember approximately 2 years ago, I think we had a major grant. My belief is that grant money allowed us to upgrade our system to a point where it outdated our reception from Prescott Regional, and now we are working on getting the most bang for our buck from our system, and we have to do this link improvement to allow us to turn one of our antennas back to our town.
I'm aware that we had more than one issue. How are we coming in getting really good service up to that transmitter up there?
There's a lot of things I'm doing to try to improve that. We have a weak area out in Maverick on 69 is one of our dead zones. Currently, Niles Radio is working on that project for us. This will be the biggest improvement, and then on top of this, once we have this fixed, we will be deploying a whole bunch of Kenwood radios that are much better than our probably 12-year-old model radios that we currently operate on.
So you're chipping away at
Away at it. I
bringing
think about
solutions.
it every night, trust me.
I like solutions. Thank you, Lieutenant.
Any other questions, comments? Mike?
Yeah, I read the log now and then, and I don't know for how long it's been, but there's always radio issues, and I'm surprised that this small investment will help in some way, I think, resolve some of those things. So I'm kind of happy to see that, and hopefully in the future things will get better. And I know we put quite an investment in there, but as you said, it's kind of a lifeline for the officers. So
And we are honestly dealing with what is becoming a dated radio system.
Yeah, right.
And the police department in the future will have to come forward for more monies, I believe.
Yep, no, I agree. So thank you.
Any other questions? Jody, you got a comment? No?
No,
Any
but
other
I'd
questions?
be happy to make a motion.
Okay, I think we're ready.
All right. Motion to approve a budget transfer from the police patrol operating budget line item to police administration capital budget line item as detailed in the fiscal analysis.
Mr. Mayor, I'll second the motion.
Okay, with a motion and a second, would you set the vote? June?
And we have, it passes, Mayor.
Go for it.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good
Council.
job, I appreciate that. Okay, we have one more item, that's number 9, comments from the public. and Councilmember Whiting will read that.
Consideration, discussion of general unscheduled comments from the public is what we're talking about this evening. Those wishing to address the council need not request permission in advance. Any such remarks shall be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any member thereof. Such remarks shall be limited to 5 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. At the conclusion of the unscheduled comments, individual members of the council may respond to the item addressed at the discretion of the mayor, or they may ask the town manager to review the matter or ask the matter to be placed on a future agenda.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone from the public care to comment? No comments? If not, we have one more item to take care of, and that's adjournment. Anyone care to make a motion to adjourn? Rick?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second.
And we have the second. Will you set the vote, June?
Push your button, Mayor.
Oh, there, got it pushed.
Passes.
That passes. Surprising. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Good job.